The Pure Water San Diego project, often called Toilet to Tap, aims to provide about a third of the city's population with potable or drinking water by the year 2035 and reduce the region's reliance on imported water. Hala Razik, director of San Diego's Public Utilities Department, and Matt O'Malley with San Diego Coastkeeper joins us with details on how the project will move forward. And welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Matt, remind us of how this Pure Water project will turn the sewage water into drinking water.
Sure. Essentially, what's happening is there's going to be diversion of water that would otherwise be headed towards the Point Loma treatment plant and putting water out into the ocean, treated wastewater, and instead turning that into potable water. So there's various different technology that could result from this process, but this step is the first in taking the move to get towards that.
And it works through filters, right? A huge array of filters, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hala, the plan calls for 3 large water recycling plants with these high-tech filters. Where are these plants going to be, and how many gallons of water are we expected that they might produce?
So yes, the first one will be North City Reclamation Plant, close to Miramar and 52. The second will be South Bay Reclamation Plant in the South County. And then the third, the largest, will be North Harbor in the central location. All 3 by 2035, which is 20 years from now, will be producing 83 million gallons a day.
Last night at the meeting, at the City Council meeting, Marty Emerald said, quote, "We can no longer afford to use water just once in this region." How much is this project going to cost, and who's going to pay for it?
This project is going to be a very important project moving forward. Like I mentioned, it's a 20-year project, and it is really kind of a wastewater solution. The federal government is requiring us right now to needing to upgrade Point Loma treatment plant at a cost of about $2 billion. So instead of spending that money, we want to direct that money to investing in pure water and creating a robust, reliable, drought-proof supply for San Diego. We are depending on state funding and federal funding, and Prop 1, the bond that just passed, will be paying for a portion of this.
So the federal government still needs to sign off on this waiver
Correct.
for the upgrade, but that's $2 billion toward the $3.5 billion. Will customers or taxpayers have to pay for any of this?
Yes, eventually they will be. We are doing this in a phased-in approach, 3 phases, and the first one will be a 15 million gallons per day, and it will be online by 2023.
Okay, and let's come back to this waiver. So it was a creative way to not have to do these upgrades right now, but how is that going to work, and when do you think the federal government will sign off on that?
So in January, we will be submitting the waiver application, and then we will be working with EPA and the federal government at changing the regulations to allow us to have the making sure that we will not need to be upgrading Point Loma. And we're hoping to do that in a couple of years from now at the latest.
And speaking of the EPA, Matt, San Diego Coastkeeper has supported this project for years, but a few people at last night's council meeting raised some concerns about the environmental impact. What kind of environmental impact could this have?
Yeah, well, we originally had those concerns as well. I mean, first and foremost, we're an environmental organization. That is why we exist. And so I had some of those similar concerns too, but after looking all the science that was behind it, looking at the studies that went into this, those concerns were addressed, I think, appropriately. And actually what we see and what we see that will come of this is an improvement in the environment. We're essentially reducing discharge of treated water out into the ocean. That's not only going to improve our environment locally, we expect, but also the environment that we draw all this water from in other places. So from the Colorado River Basin, from Northern California, we hope that less of that water will be necessary, so the environment is improved in other places as well.
And Hala, what's the immediate next steps? We talked about this waiver. What's going to happen now that the City Council has approved moving forward?
The first step would be to submit the application to the federal government. We'll be doing that in January, followed by working with the federal government, making sure that we can secure the necessary assurances, not needing to ever upgrade the Point Loma treatment plant, as well as doing the planning and the design for the first phase, that 15 million gallons per day facility at North City Reclamation Plant.
And Matt, and this is a 20-year plan, as we've been talking about, real long term. What would you say is the most important thing for people to do now in the interim while trying to protect their drinking water here in San Diego?
Still conservation, first and foremost. I mean, we only have so many reserves going at this point, and with the drought coming, we don't know how long it'll last, and so I think conservation first and foremost.
All right, Matt O'Malley and Hala Razik, thank you so much.
Thank you.